Well, all right. I just got done making a video, a live stream that didn't work because for some reason my MIDI control service kept getting disconnected from Ableton Live. Not sure why that happened, but seems like I've got the problem fixed. Anyway, so how I use dynamic EQ for sound design. Let me open up a preset and see if I get disconnected again. It might have had something to do with this preset, this patch here. Let's see. All right, so how I use it for sound design is pretty straightforward. Let me add a video source so that you can see I'm not AI, obviously. And yeah, there we go. Not AI video capture device. Oops. Properties. Yeah. Okay. Let me do something real quick. Fit to screen. There it is. There. Hello. Welcome aboard. I got it figured out. I finally got it figured out. I want to apologize for any kind of discrepancy earlier. I was having technical difficulties, and I hold on. Let me add a scene here real quick. Let me add scene. We're gonna add existing. I'm gonna add circle. There we go. So yeah, so that's it. Earlier I was having a problem. I couldn't get my MIDI control surface to play the keys. So how I use the dynamic EQ here for sound design, it's pretty straightforward. What I did here was I got an instance of an isolation, a frequency isolation tool. And it's a free one. It's called Isobongu or something like that. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And what this allows you to do is like solo out the low frequencies. Okay, low mids, high mids, and highs. Okay, and so this is how I set up TDR Nova to a reference track. Okay, and so what that'll enable you to do is create professional sounds, right? Professional grade audio automatically once you get this set up. It's a little bit of a learning curve. So for example, let's say I was in here in Vital, and well, I'll just use an EQ instead of being in Vital. Let's say I'm in Vital Audio and I'm creating a Vital patch, and I think it sounds killer, and then so I just start adding all this bass. Once I see this shit happening, I know I'm in that range of like, ho, take it easy. See a little bit of movement tells me that's fine. I'm still in that safe zone. I see a little bit of movement like that, that's where I want to see it. Right, but anything more than that, it's like, okay, it's over the top. So this tells me I could like raise this by 3 dB and be in the safe zone. And here too. So this tells me I got a lot of headroom here. Got a lot of headroom here. Oh, not as much as I thought. What I like to do with these kind of cuts, or with these kind of additions, is take the Q way down and then do these things slowly. See how it affects the entire sound. Anyways, you get the point. And that's pretty much it. That's straightforward. Look at this crazy peak over here. Anyways, that's pretty straightforward. You understand how it works. Now you can use it to your advantage. Totally use it to your advantage. Now you can make pro grade sounds that are going to fit. And then what happens too is if you load this up on the master channel, this will allow you to see. Let's say, for example, you've stacked like some kicks or something like that with this weird bass or something. You got some kicks that are way too quiet because I never actually did change this default setting. There we go. And you'll be able to see on your master channel. I'll show you real quick. I'm sure you get it, but I'll just show my potential one viewer anyways. So I would bring it over here, and instead of having to open up span and then go, oh, that looks like it's right around in that zone that I want, because the zone is relative. Here's what I mean by that. I could say, yeah, when my song's mastered, I want my low frequencies to be up here around -30, right? But when I'm making a track, I'm not looking for -30. I'm looking for a balance, right? A balanced track. So let's say that I have a drum sample or something like that. Let's just grab a drum loop really quick. We'll just grab the first one I see here, and we'll drop a drum loop in right here. And so now I've got a drum loop. And the drum loop goes a little something like this. So I go, holy fuck. And then I know right away that this is too loud. So I'd come in here -9 dB, and I'd take a look again. And I'd say, okay, it's a little bit on the loud side. So I go -12. And that's right about where I want to see it. Just barely touching stuff. And so then let's say I got a bass line already all set up. And let's say that my bass line is something like, I don't know, I'll lay one out real quick. Okay, let's say my bass line's that, right? And I'm over here, and I play these two together, and let's see. I play these two together. Okay, so I play these two together, and for some reason I say, oh yeah, I like that, and that sounds good, and all that shit. Hold on, let me find something real quick. I made a happy little accident here. I want to make sure that I do it the right way. So that would be right to there. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. All right. So anyhow, let's say I go, oh yeah, I like this, and I'm playing it. And then I come over here, and I'm going, yeah, dude, I like this vibe. Then I come over to the master channel, and I open this up, and I look. Nice, right? So I got everything I need. Okay, but let's say I'm mixing for a long time, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this. This needs some more bass, and I come over here, and I just like start cranking shit up. Sounds good to me, right? But then you come over here, and you take a look, and you're like, holy fuck, what's going on? And so the fact that it sounds good could mean a couple different things. It could mean that the EQ-ing of the bass is just a bit much, right? So let's see. Let's get rid of these guys right here. It could just be something really simple. It could be, we'll go 300, and then we'll take this one and we'll go 300 also here. 100. And we'll do something like M, and then something like M, and then we'll take the Q way down here and the Q way down here. Oops. The Q way down there, and then I'll. So it could be something simple. It could be like maybe a tilt EQ issue, right? Maybe I go, oh yeah, that sounds sick, and then I come over here and I look, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's too much bass going on, but I like that high end sound, right? So I could come back over here and maybe do some tilt EQing. And then I say, oh shit, now there's too much high end. So instead of me like EQing forever, which is cool because you want to do that when you're sound designing, but I've already designed this sound. I would just come in here and then lower this, right? Because I'm looking and I'm listening. So I'm listening first, and I could hear that it's thin, and my natural instinct is to want to just boost the low end. But if I look here at this reference dynamic EQ, that tells me, no, I just need to lower the track. And so maybe I come in here and I go minus 6 dB. And then I play it. Now I'm like, what the fuck, man? What's going on here? And so I start raising it up a little bit. Okay, sounds good to me. Kind of. But then, like, I noticed that I need some more low end, but I don't want to mess with that high end. So we got that EQ, just fucking close it out, forget that it even exists. And then come in here. This is what I like to do anyways. I like to take the Q all the way down on this low shelf. And then I like to put another bell right in the same spot. And then I'll lower the gain by 3 decibel. It's kind of like a Pultec type of hack jam. If you know, and then I'll raise this up by 6. Actually, I'll lower this by 6 as well. So we'll do minus 6 for this case. And then I like to just bring it all the way over and start listening. We'll turn off this. And I'm gonna raise my master channel now. You can't hear me raise the master channel. I can only hear it on my end, and that's so I don't blast your guys' ears out, my no viewers. So I'll raise my master channel and I'll say, okay, I like how everything sounds, and I'll start pulling this EQ over. And I really like that, right? You could probably not even notice. I'm in the safe zone right there. So right there's the safe zone. So let's say maybe I grab like some kind of weird ARP or something, you know, who knows, right? This should have been called How to Make a Track in 5 fucking minutes. Pardon my French. I cuss. That's why my videos are not made for children. Let's see, I don't know, arpeggiated? Where's some arpeggiated stuff? I don't even know. I just type in ARP, I guess. Arpeggiated? Kind of like an ARP. So, say go Control Shift Track, and I get this weird thing, and I throw it in there, and then I go, well, it's not a good enough ARP, so I want to put another arpeggiator on it. Then I want it to be in like, I don't know, A minor or something, who knows? Maybe D sharp minor. Maybe that's where I'm in. I don't know where I'm in. And then I turn this. And I'm like, yeah, I like it. All right. So to come in here and do something really basic. Now here's what's crazy. I don't even know what happened. Like, I couldn't even hear any arpeggiation. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe change this to 16th notes. Maybe change the gate. I don't know what the fuck happened there. That's weird as shit. Let me try that one more time. That's really strange. Maybe I'm just gonna have to like resample it or something. Who knows? So that's not working. Maybe I'll audio shift track. Oops. Control Z, just control track. I'll bring an audio track in here, and then we'll go in from, I don't know, whatever the fuck that ARP thing is. Turn it off. Turn this guy on. Oh, that's not it. What is it? Space ARP? That's fucking wild. I don't know why it's doing that. So my whole Ableton Live, for some reason, everything about it is glitching out. So starting this morning, starting a couple days ago, it no longer recognized the keys. Now it's recognizing the keys now for some reason. But I can't record that. And earlier today, it was kicking me out. Like I would have a key down and it would kick me right off. And so for some reason it's not letting me record the arpeggiator. Maybe if I just take the arpeggiator off for now. What, a D minor? Maybe that's what the problem. I mean, I don't even know. I have no clue. Anyways, let me get back to it. Let me see if I can actually do this to show the example. Here we go. So let's say I like something like that, and that's kind of cool sounding. All right, it's kind of neat. That's what music's all about: having fun and making kind of like neat noises and shit, stuff. Okay, but then I come over here and I'm like, yeah, I like that. So I come over here and I check it out, and I'm like, what is this going on over here? And I'm seeing that shit, right? Watch here. Let me show you what I mean. I mean, I can hear that it's too loud. Pardon me. I bumped the mic. I can hear that it's too loud anyways. So look, let's just lower it. For the sake of explanation and for illustration, I mean, let's go ahead and show you. Look at this. It's like biting everywhere, right? But I can hear that it's too loud. And so what I usually do when I mix, so here's like fucking free pro tip, because nobody goes on my Patreon anyways. And so like on fader number 3, this will be fader number 3. I just slowly introduce any sound when I'm mixing anyways. Yeah, and I think to myself, oh, that sounds about right. And so I'd look over here. And it needs a little bit of work, but it's okay. It's in the safe zone. And then that's when you would open up your personal settings. You know, like I have a personal setting here, default. Boom. Go mid-side mode, and underlayment, and I would take a look. And then obviously there's nothing in it. There's nothing in the track. So that's how I do it. There it is there. That's how I use dynamic EQ for sound design. Let's say I was just sound designing this. Let's say I was just, I don't know, let's put the arpeggiator back on it. Let's say I come in here and I turn off this and I play this again. And I put it like converge, diverge, right? It doesn't work with this thing anyways for some reason. And I think, oh, I see it because it's got a built-in arpeggiator on it already. So let's say I come in here and I think to myself, well, that sounds sick. And then I go to like some random shit, like my favorite stuff, and I put my favorite thing on there, which is Fog Convolver always. Because you can literally load up waveforms. Like if I wanted to, I can come in here and go like that. Boom. Play. Oh, whoops. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, it has to be already a patch. So, like if I come to my user library and I go to Atmos, and I open up an atmosphere, and I drop an atmosphere in there, then I got or let's say I put this in there instead. Or whatever, right? And then I'm like, oh, I like it. Then I open up this guy right here and I look. And I'm like, holy shit. Look at what's going on. So I don't really hear that because I have a dynamic EQ on the master channel. But it doesn't matter anyways. It could be on this channel. Preferably on this channel when I'm sound designing anyways. So I can actually hear it, but let's say that I was mixing for a long time. And I couldn't hear that. Let's turn this guy off real quick. Let's say I was mixing for a long time and I didn't notice that. Then I looked at this and I said, oh shit. Look at that crazy thing from like 500 to 5K or I don't know, to 4K. I could grab me an EQ. I could bring the EQ in here. And I mean, this dynamic EQ is doing the job. But I can still hear it anyways. So I would come over here and I would go, I don't know. It was from 500 to 4K. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So I would go right at 1K with a huge Q and then give it this big dip, right? I would go -6, something like that. And I'd listen again. Obviously. Look at now, it has none of the effect. So I'd raise it up, listening, obviously. Not looking, but listening. And you're like, wow, none of the effect. And then you realize, oh shit, I didn't turn on the Fog Convolver. So that's what happened. Okay, there we go. So let's do this again. We're going -6. Oops. -6. There we go. And I listen to this. And I'm like, no, that's not enough. So like minus, I don't know. Widen up the Q. Move it around. That sounds good to me, but it's still a little bit loud. Widen up the Q some more. Move it around. That sounds good to me. Widen up the Q some more. Move it around. If that ain't working, I'd come in here and I'd say, okay, let me lower the wet. And I think that sounds good to me. So I'd look over here and look at that shit. Sounds good. Got fortunate. Got fortunate. You get the point. You get the point. So let's say it like, okay, so like I flatten this out, right? This could be like 25 videos right here. So whoever's watching, whoever happens to roll through, you'll actually learn a lot of stuff right now. I'm in that mood to where I just feel like just giving out all the tricks. Look at that craziness. This is all kinds of decapitated. That's all kinds of, what is it called? I forget what is the name of that when the waveforms do this. It's called decimation or something. What is that called? Let me see here. Hold on, let me go into fire. Let me grab fire real quick. It's called, what is that called? It's called rectification. So we can actually fix that here a little bit. We won't be able to fix all of it because the rectification, it chooses one side over the other. So we won't be able to fix the bottom or the top. We'll be able to fix the bottom a little bit more because the bottom looks like it's a little bit more out of balance. So there's a lot more waveform on the bottom. It doesn't really matter because it sounds cool. But you know, I figure, you know what the hell, I might as well just show whoever happens to roll through here all the stuff instead of just like how I use dynamic EQ for sound design. Let's see here. So I would, let's see, what would I do? I would grab a oscilloscope, right? That's what I would do. I'd grab an oscilloscope, put it up here, and then take a listen, right? I mean, take a look and a listen, not just a look, not just a listen. So I don't know, what is this? Well, 4 bars. Take a look now also. See these little spiky little jams right down here, and this lopsidedness. Maybe this rectification can fix that. So I'll try a little bit of that. It adds some distortion, but it's fixing it a little bit. I don't like how it sounds. It sounds like crap. But maybe that's the effect that you're going for, right? Who knows? Maybe you're going for some sounds like crap distortion effect. And yeah. And there's a kind of a cheat anyways that you can sort of get rid of the distortion, because distortion is usually audible mostly in the high frequencies. So there's sort of like a hack. Here, real quick. Let me normalize the sample out. Bring this down to minus 12, minus 18. So minus 18, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So here's the hack. When you got that weird distortion, you could just literally just grab an EQ. Let's say you like the sound, so you'd grab like a linear phase EQ or something, and you'd obviously cut off the 20 kilohertz and 20 hertz. And let's see, you find that where that distortion is the most prominent, it's going to be like, that actually kind of sounds cool. Let's say you don't like that, right? So this would be the wrong EQ for the example. Let me grab a nonlinear EQ. I actually like what this is doing to the sound, so I'll keep that on there. So this would be the EQ to get rid of the weird distortion, right? You'd find where it's at. So that's one way you could do it. Maybe you could even just, I don't know, a slow high cut. I prefer the other method though, so let's go back to it. And then, I mean, if you wanted to get all like ultra surgical, do some shit like that. And I actually like what that was doing to the sound. That was pretty cool. All right, and then you still hear it. You can still hear it in there. You would just repeat, right? You come back in here and you just soundscape. And then, you know, okay, so let's say you're like, oh shit, let me take a listen to this. I'm not sure what's going on. It sounds like it's lacking something. And I'm not talking about mixing right now. I'm talking about sound design. So let's say we come in here and we go reference tool. There we go. Reference tool. We got this reference tool that I showed you how to create in the beginning of the video. And I come in here and I say, I'm going to turn this up now, right? Okay, so I play it. I still hear that distortion. Let me find it. There it is there. So what does that look like? It looks like a low shelf, so fuck it. I'm just going to make a low shelf. There we go. I come in here and I go, oh man, look at that, dude. My low end is all out of balance. But it's not really. I like how it sounds. I don't know. Here, fucking ultra fucking quick tip again. You can drop an EQ8 on here. Make sure it's in high Q mode. Always make sure it's in oversampling mode. I have mine set to default. If you don't know how to do that, you can save as default preset right here. Anytime you change the parameter or whatever. So let's get rid of these two guys. Oh, boom, boom. And then I'll bring this one out to 300. I'm going to make a tilt filter and I'll lower the Q. I'll bring this guy out to 300. Oops, that was 3,000. Let's do 300. Sometimes when you're moving too fast, it's not good. And then we'll gain all the way up, gain all the way down, and then I'll use this scale. Well, I might as well just do this, right? Group, macro map scale to here. And so now this will be my whatchamacallit, my tilt filter. And so zero, well, minimum will be zero, minimum will be, oops, maximum will be 125, minimum will be minus 125. And so 0 should be, no, that's not right. So minimum, let me go back in here for a minute. Minimum should be at 0%. There we go. And then maximum. That works in this case, but this is actually wrong. We'll do minimum minus 100% and maximum 100%. And so now it's actually like a tilt filter. But in this case, there we go. That would have worked. So I'd come in here and I'd play it. And I'd say, holy shit, it's not working. So shift and then, oh, that's the wrong way. And then, so that's pretty much working right there. And I can still hear that nastiness. It's on the sides anyhow. So that's where I messed up. to. There we go. We sort of fixed it. You're still going to hear that in the mastering phase, but I mean, there's ways to cover it up. All right. So let's say if I have the whole thing on. Right, so it covers it up. And so this was done the same way. This was done with that same rack, right? This sound design was created with that same rack, which is a little crispy, right? But that's okay. It's not too bad. And then these drums, same thing. The drums were volume. They were actually... So I'm going to have to do it different with the drums because I lowered the volume by 12 decibel to get them to work. So since I put this on the drum track, I'm not going to do any EQing. I'm going to do some clip gain. I'm going to lower this by 12 decibel. And then I'll raise this back up to 0. And then you'll see that it works for the drums too. See that? And then when everything's all together... Now, I'm not saying that this is a super killer track or anything like that. Like, I literally just put it together in what? How long have I been on here for? Let's see. For 36 minutes. So 37 minutes and 4 seconds. So I threw something together in 37 minutes and 4 seconds while explaining how I use dynamic EQ to create sounds. So let's say I want to group these two sounds together. Might as well just go full throttle. Nobody goes to my Patreon anyways, so you might as well just learn the shit here. Although I recommend you go to my Patreon because then I can help you with your mix, not just with my mix, but your mix, and that does make a difference. So in other words, it works like this. What works for one mix does not work for the other. Let's say I come in here and I want to create some sounds again. So let's say I want to vocode this bass sound, sidechain it off of whatever this thing is right here. So I grab a vocoder, and what often happens, especially with frequencies, is with mixing, is that, well, frequencies, yeah, is that you can easily trick yourself with high frequencies. You can easily get to that point where you go, oh, this sounds good, and then your ears are slowly working like a compressor, right? It has something to do with something called the Fletcher-Munson curves, or Fletcher and Munson. They did this study. They come up with this fucking chart, right? And so to keep it really simple, it's that certain sounds are louder when they're loud, but then there's this other thing too, which has to do with the human ear. So like if you hear like a percussive sound or like an attack, right? A sharp attack of a sound. This is why you got to be careful when you're doing those high Q fucking boosts, is because you're gonna kind of tweak your mixing unless you know about this and you pay attention. Which is that the ear works sort of like a Waves auto gain, right? Oh, vocal rider, right? So it auto gain compensates sort of like a compressor. Basically, it just gets dull with time, is what it is. So you mix that with the loudness curves and time, and then you end up just cranking the high frequencies until when you're done, you're like, this is gonna be killer, man. And then you listen to it the next day and you're like, oh shit, what happened to my fucking mix? Sounds like I mixed it inside of an empty Pepsi can. Anyways, if you're watching from school, go back to school and do your schoolwork. Do not watch from school. All right, so let's sidechain this to whatever this is, to the space ARP. Space ARP. Let's bring it in and see what I got. Maybe we do it the other way around. Maybe I sidechain this to the, hold on a minute. Okay, maybe I sidechain this to the vital neural base. See what happens. That sounds fucking sick. Anyways, that wasn't my goal to make some sick sounds, but since I did make some sick sounds, I'm going to keep it. Now, obviously, that's too loud, right? And so here's where getting that reference tool can not only tell you that, hey, that shit's way too loud, but it'll also tell you if you got it balanced or not. I think it sounds pretty sick and pretty balanced. I like that little zap that's in it. But I'll put this reference tool on the master channel and have a listen, right? Have a look and a listen. It's obviously too loud. Let me turn it down. I'll bring it up into the master channel. It's a little bit rough around the 200. So maybe I grab an EQ here. And since I like how it sounds, I'll put this linear phase EQ on here. And I'll bring 200 down. Oops. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm going to push it back up. And I'm like, okay, so now it's sounding like it needs a low shelf. Or it's looking like it needs a low shelf. So I can come over here and, I don't know, bring it over to 200. 200. Maybe, yeah, and then bring this down by 3 decibel. And then, so I lost something right there. So I'm going to push this back up now. So it's in the 100 area. So maybe bring this down 3 decibel in the 100 area. There's hardly any low frequency content happening. So now these high frequencies are triggering. So this actually sounds cool and it looks cool. Let's see what it sounds like in the mix now. Bring it up into the mix. It could use more bass for sure. You know, I mean, there's no doubt about it. And this is where stuff like this can go wrong. You could simply think that, oh, I've used this dynamic EQ for sound design and track referencing, and so now I figured out the magic formula, and that's some bullshit. You need experience. You need to get behind the screen or behind the hardware, however you do it. I am behind the screen. That's how I do it. And of course, there's some hardware stuff, of course, because you have to have some. I mean, I'm talking into a microphone, and I have headphones for when I want to take things seriously. And I actually have, 5 pairs of headbuds, earbuds, and 2 pairs of microphones. Headphones, 2 microphones, this one, and then my condenser for when I want to be all special and make cool sounds that aren't very dynamic and won't damage my microphone. Anyways, let's see here. Let's see what this. Let's do a resample of this, right? And then I'll show you an advanced gain staging technique too. Let's say we want to put an audio track in here, so we go like that, and I want to resample from the group. So I'm going to hit in from group. I'm going to turn that off, and I hit record, and I'm going to have it go out right here. And I'm going to record this segment. So let's see. Very simple stuff. Now I can get rid of this. Boom. So now I've got these two things, and I'm going to consolidate these two things. I'm going to consolidate this, and I'm going to consolidate this. Oops. Now, since my master faders are both at 0, I'm going to take a look down here. Oh, this says minus 12.4, so I'm going to normalize the sample, come over here and go minus 12.5 on the fader, because I liked how that sounded. Not because that's the rule, right? Because I liked how it sounded. And I look at this and I say, okay, so this is at 0, huh? Okay, so let's hear it and look at that, and then look at this. I didn't do nothing here, but it should sound the same. Oops, there we go. Look, you got a lot of peaks here, right? And this is, I'm going to tell you this right now. When it comes to mixing music, having access to the waveforms is the way to go. Creating waveforms is the way to go. If you think, oh, but I could just put a MIDI fucking thing on there and then like do it all MIDI. That's true. That's how you start, right? But if you want to get all just badass about it, then you're going to want to mess with the waveform. You're going to want to actually get in there and chop stuff up, mix stuff around, take your time, find that unique thing that wasn't there before, that other people aren't going to do, like brand new bedroom producers aren't going to do. And then if they do it and then they are brand new, then they're not going to actually have the skills to do it the right way. And that will set you out from the crowd. So I'm listening to this, and I ask myself, I say, I don't know, I like the bass, and so I want to come in here and I want to like add 75 decibels of bass. Anyway, so we'll go like this, 6 dB of bass, and then I'll come over here to 31. Also, I'll go 31. And then we'll go minus 6 decibel. And I'll do that same trick, right? Come in here and I'll listen. I like that. So that sounded good to me. So I'd come in here and I'd take a look, and obviously it's going to look different. Holy shit, but not much. And why? Why? Because of this. See this little cut right here? So you got to think about a waveform like this, like sheets of paper that stack up against one another, right? Low frequencies are going to be thick pieces of paper, right? And so when you raise low frequencies, you're adding thick chunks of paper. So you can remove frequencies that are over here by causing dips, right? And the same goes for the other way around. Let's say I wanted to enhance some of the high-end stuff. So basically we're going to make a smiley face curve here. But let's say I wanted to enhance some of the high frequencies, and I'm over here at 4K, which is the danger zone, so you got to be careful. But anyway, so I'll bring this one over to 4, 1, 2, 3, and I'll lower it by 6 decibel. And this will be up by 6 decibel. And then I would bring it all the way, oops. Select both of them, bring them all the way over, and see what I can come up with. Now, what I like to do in the high frequencies actually is, since they're both selected, I'll bring the Q way down, like all the way down, and then play with it that way. Well, that's too sharp, right? So then I'll bring the Q back up. All right, so that's obviously too much in the top end. I can hear it, but we'll just go ahead here and we'll look at it. So we'll look at the top end here. Oh, maybe not. That looks pretty good. Huh. Well, that's actually pretty good. I like it. So let's see what it sounds like in the mix. It's hollow, right? This is fucking something missing. And that's because it's a big giant scoop, right? If I take that off and then... So another lesson. Here we go. Another lesson. And this comes from experience. And this was a hard lesson for me to learn. And like I said, if you're watching from school, go back to school, do your homework, do your schoolwork, do whatever. Right? This show is not made for kids. And I know, like, when you're in high school, you don't think you're a kid. But get back to school. Do your work. Anyhow, this lesson was difficult for me to learn. And that's basically this right here. Let's turn this EQ on, and we're going to bring everything down to 0. Which is the low mids and the high mids. That's where your mix is actually at. So let's bring this back down to 0. Let's listen to this. What's going to translate through to speakers, and I even have a speaker setup right here. I have a Samsung speaker emulator, right? So that's what this is. When I turn this EQ on, and then I put it into mono, it simulates a speakerphone from a phone. All right, so here's what I had before. Sounds good, but the real mix is going to be in these frequencies here. Hear it? And maybe not necessarily there. It might be like, or maybe over here. All right. So that's where it would be. It's going to be those low mids, and high mids. So let's take it out of mono. Let's turn this off, and let's get this back to nothing. Let's cut that out. This is another reason. It's another reason. It's another reason why I like this ISO tool. Where is it at? I can never find it. Oh, here it is. Here. It's another reason why I like this. I think I have it set up on my master channel already. I might not, though, because I haven't been using it lately. But I go through phases where I use it and then I don't use it. And so a lot of times I like to have this on when I'm mixing. You see what I mean? Here's bypass. So immediately when I bypass this, what I hear is, oh shit, there's way too much 200 going on in this bass. So if I was to turn this on and I come over to 200, I would dip this down by 6 and see what happens. That sounds sick. I like it. I really like that. Like, that sounds really good to me compared to 4. After is right here. And it's basically what I did with the highs and the lows, but in reverse. Do you see what I mean by that? is basically just a little dip, just like a little smiley face. And yeah, and that's it. So cool stuff there. And I hope you liked that. Maybe I'll work on how to make a snare, and then I'll cut up this live stream into another video. So let's make a snare. Why? Because I can. Let's see. We're gonna make a snare. Make a snare. Make a snare. What's cool with AI too, right? So check this out. Like if you're getting into like videos and stuff like I am getting into, because I was doing the TikTok thing and I realized, you know what, where it's at is still on YouTube. This whole short form fucking hope people bite type stuff isn't working. And since I have a unique health condition and a unique job schedule, what's actually going to work for me is just doing these YouTube videos and then chopping them up into regular videos. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so you can use AI, right? You could load up your video. You can ask AI to give you timestamps and a summary of the segments of your video, and sure enough, it'll do it for you. And it's that simple. It'll be done like this too. It accesses, especially if it's Gemini, because Gemini is connected to Google and Google is connected to YouTube, and so it accesses everything rapidly. So there you go, little life hack for you. So EZDrummer. I should probably activate EZDrummer, huh? I like that. There we go. Make a snare. We'll start with a good sounding snare. I like that one. It rings out. And we'll just put the velocity at 100% because it doesn't matter for now. For now, we're just going to make the snare. Freeze this, flatten this track out, because that's what you do. Like if you want to make stuff, you got to commit. You got to tell yourself, hey, I'm willing to do what it takes. Let me see here. Something's wrong. Okay. I need to consolidate this. And then, there we go. Boom. You got to do what it's take. Do what it takes to tell yourself, I'm actually going to do the thing. And so here's a cool snare, but it's like a rock and roll snare. Okay, that's cool, but it's rock and roll. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. Okay, wrong tempo, obviously. But anyway, so maybe now we can grab Control-Shift-T for a MIDI channel. We can grab Vital Audio. Dun, 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 dun. There's a couple ways you could do this, right? You might be able to just load up a waveform, but we're going to go from scratch. We're going to go basic shapes. There we go. Basic shapes. And instead of making a rounded, oh, look at that. Didn't have to make nothing. It was just already there. Unbelievable. And look at what Vital Audio is doing. Look at this, dude. Look at this. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on with Vital. I don't know if it's like doing automatic updates or what. But last time I loaded it up, it disconnected me. Okay, that. All right, let's find two notes. One that's going to be around 200 and one that's going to be 400. Let's do it. Let's do 2 and 400. So we're going to need a span, man. And we'll keep span on. high res. High res, like the res, dude. Oh, really close to 200 if you ask me. I knew I was close. There we go. Look at those resonant frequencies, though. Okay. So we'll do one on 2. Let's open span back up, and then we'll find 4. So it's going to be octaves of one another. Why didn't I know that? I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my brain. All right. I should have known that. Duh. All right. Control shift. Okay. So we've got CD. We've got D4 is the key I'm looking for. Okay. So control shift M for MIDI. And then we've got D4. That should be D4. Oh no, D5 maybe? What's going on here? D6? What is up with that? Oh, it's G2? How the fuck? I don't know what's going on with Vital. And then we're gonna go then G3, I guess, apparently. Ooh, it's nice and short. That's what I'm looking for. All right, let's listen to it again. Maybe let's stretch it out a little bit. That'll work for now, and then if I need to shorten it up, I will. But I'm going to give it a little bit of like a pitch drop, if that makes sense. So I'm going to come in here and just do a rapid little pitch drop. Maybe an eighth it's going to be too slow. I'm going to do some craziness. Now I just made a kick drum. Alright, I like how that sounds. And then I'll duplicate this because I'm going to use this again with some white noise though. That, flatten this. There we go. And then over here, let's make some white noise here. Let's, instead of this, we put it on white noise and see what it sounds like. Holy shit. Okay, so that's abrupt. Let's do the same thing here. The white. Maybe something the same way. That's cool. That's loud as shit. But that's fine. We'll just blend it in. So we've got these 3 waveforms. Let's zoom in and take a look at places where it matters. Obviously, white noise is not going to matter too much. And let's see what we can come up with. See what we can come up with here. Lower all this stuff down. And what is going on here? Oh. Sounds good. way too long here. Maybe something like this. That'll work. Now let's play with the pitch of this little guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it into textures mode. And whether you like me or not, that's what I'm doing. All right, so this shit ain't working out. So much for making a snare. Let's move this little guy around a little bit. There we go. That works a lot better. There we go. Let's swap this out. Holy shit, I was like, what's going on here? There's something amiss. And I realized, oh, because I have, apparently, musical dyslexia. Oh, shit, turning into a snare. Turning into a drum and bass snare now. Uh-oh. Be careful. We might have ourselves a drum and bass snare here pretty soon. I'm liking that. I'm going to turn the grid off now. That's cool. I like that a lot. And it's not the best snare in the world, but guess what? I don't care, man. I like it. I like it a lot. I was just lining up the phase there. And so I'm going to go ahead and resample. Let's just call it resampling. Boom, in, turn that off, and go for it. There it is there. There's a snare. Now I should save these and alter the snare. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to call this a snare. Let's go ahead and do that. Or that didn't do anything, so that. So it turned from dynamic EQ to making snares. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. Look at that creep right there. So that looks a little sketchy. I don't really like how that looks, but let me see if I like how it sounds. Yeah, I like how it sounds. That's cool. It's good enough. And then it's all about just transposing to pitch. Ooh. And there it is. It's literally that simple. Like, so if you have to watch like a master class on how to make a snare, then you're tripping out. Now, obviously, that's not the stereo field. and all that stuff. And you're not tripping out, but like the people that are offering the master class might be a little bit tripping out, even though I think that that's actually pretty cool to offer classes like that. But you just saw me do it in like 10 minutes. Let's see here. Then you would put a utility on here and make it mono so that it would be snappy into club ma. And then what I would do personally, and I'm not saying that you have to do this, I would group this mono. I would introduce, I would rename this to mono. And I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying that's what I would do. Then I would make a chain that I would call, I would call it delay. And then I would create a chain that I would call reverb. All caps, because that's what you do when you're old as dust, is you type all caps for everything. And then I would lower all these volumes. And then I would actually grab the things that I said that I labeled them as, and then I would do something crazy, right? Something unheard of. I would go like this, ooh, and then the feedback, and then the dry all the way up, or the wet all the way up. And then I would do ping pong, unfucking believable. So we've got the mono signal. Now we got some side stuff. And then we're going to have some more side stuff over here with the reverb, if I can find the reverb. And here's what I'm going to do. Since I can, I'm going to use my favorite-ish reverb, my second favorite-ish reverb. Favorite for vocals. But and then I'm just going to pick a plate. And a plate with like the lowest decay time. Or the fastest decay time. Is that it? Almost 1 second of a decay time. Okay, that'll work. And then I'm just going to do this. Boom. All the way wet. And then I'll introduce these. Holy shit! That snare's wide. And now I'll introduce the plate. I don't like the tail. It's too much of a tail. So there's some plug-in, and I'm not familiar with it, and I forget what it's called. It's something mini. It's called Flux Mini. It is a volume shaper. Oops, that's the one that you got to pay for with the gay pyramids on it. And this is the one that you don't have to pay for. Holy shit. Sync. Yeah, this is sunk to the tempo, all right. But how do I change the BPM? Oh, here we go. There we go. Half a bar, and this is half a bar. So I'm going to adjust the tail on that plate reverb. And here we go. Sounds good to me. Sounds like a snare with a bunch of reverb in it that could be shortened up to that with the reverb in it. And you got yourself a badass snare. So, I don't know. While I'm at it, I might as well fucking do this while I'm at it. I don't know, just grab like the first drum loop I could find and There we go. Put a drum loop in here and all this stuff. See where I could place that snare. Might as well. Let's see what that drum loop sounds like. Okay, so I don't like that snare, so I'm going to replace it with this one. Why is this on off still? There we go. Oh, I know why it's on off still, because I didn't take it off of off. Even just adding that little layer just made a huge difference. Let's see here. Sounds dope. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And because I took the time to make that snare, I'm going to go ahead and add this snare to my snares collection. It'll find its way into a sample pack eventually. Let's see, drum beats, snares. Hold on, I need to type in snares. Snares, there we go. Put this one in snares, call it, shit. I don't want to, Ableton Live Clip. Oh well, it doesn't matter. We'll call it, Trav Snare 13 or something. Trav Snare 13. Let's see. What is this snare here? It's a different snare I made. What the hell is that? The dingus snare? I might have made a dingus snare. Yeah, that's a dingus snare. Yeah, I made a dingus snare there. Let's see. Listen to this crazy beast. What is this one? Drag and drop this one in there. What? Can't? Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. What is this one? Is that the one I just made? No, it's not. What are these? These are the same. Yeah, these are. Now I'm just spacing out. Like, if there's anybody here right now, go watch the beginning of the video because that's where actually the information resides. Now I'm just like doing crazy shit. Why is this missing? It's going to say missing. Huh, interesting. So this is missing. This is completely gone. I don't know where this is located at. We're going to go ahead and just show in Explorer. I don't think it's anywhere. Yeah, it's gone. That's completely missing. So this needs to get deleted. Delete. See ya. Move to the trash. To the trash, to the trash, trash, trash. Anyways, I'm done. I'm spacing out. Goodbye.